All right, welcome back. It boils down to the math. So hear me out on this one, right? The CME Group announced that its regulated cryptocurrency futures and options are going to be available for trading 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Yeah, you heard that right. Beginning May 29th, pending, obviously, regulatory review. Now, I definitely have my thoughts on this. Now, it's not the first time I've heard of something like this opening up. Is it a good thing? Will it make an already volatile product even more volatile? And who in their right mind needs to trade crypto 24/7? I don't know. But my next guest brought this to our attention, and I wanted to hear his thoughts on the subject, especially now that Bitcoin has almost halved in value. Ooh, that hurts. So please welcome to the show, back by popular demand, Mr. Tommy Grisafi. He's with Nesbitt Trading, but he's the AgBull. Thanks for being on, Tommy. All right. This 24/7 crypto, a recipe for disaster or a great way to trade? What do you think?
I think in this case, Scotty, it's a great thing because, as you see, I'm in my little trading office here in Valparaiso, and I have the ticker going. We'll put on the ticker, Cow Guy. First, I want to go back and reference something. I was listening to RFD radio the other day, a few months ago, and you told the funniest darn story I ever heard about your father. Now, what people don't realize is back in 1950s, the Board of Trade was open for Saturdays. And you told the funniest story when your dad went to a funeral of a guy who died, and he had told his wife for 5 years he was going into work on Saturdays, and the floor hadn't been open for like 6 years. But the Board of Trade floor up until 1953 used to. Do you remember that story you told on the radio a few months ago?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
and then my dad was a young man in his 30s when he met this guy. He was like a mentor. When he passed away, he went to the guy's funeral, and the guy's wife, his widow, came up to my dad and said he was such a hard worker. He worked 6 days a week up until the day he died. And my dad's like, yeah, okay.
Yeah. So anyway, referencing that story, it's not that crazy to talk about Saturdays. But here's the problem I have. I like trading the micro Bitcoin. That's 1/10 of a Bitcoin. Sounds crazy, folks. It's not that crazy compared to the craziness going on in silver. 1/10 of a Bitcoin has a value of what, $6,500, maybe $6,800, because Bitcoin's up today, Scotty. And with margins and stuff, I myself am very comfortable trading a micro Bitcoin, several of them, on the CME Group. The problem is I get flat every Friday because who knows what's going to happen? Trump's president. Are we going to war with Iran? Is Japan going to do something? So the risk from Friday at 4 o'clock when crypto at the CME quits trading to 5 o'clock Central Time when we all open, every single weekend we gap open or gap lower $2,000 to $5,000 per Bitcoin, right? And so if you stack on 10 of these micros, you could have a $5,000 swing. So if you're going to take risk, you should be able to get out of that risk. Now, something like corn and definitely cattle, I'm okay with the way we do it. It's okay. But in crypto, all these other exchanges are open, right? I'll tell you what I think's next. I'm going to predict a little something here. The way gold and silver are moving, I bet you by the end of 2026, CME Group announces Saturday gold and silver because the metals are moving so much that it's hard to keep track of all this. Now, a few things. I talked to my friends at Plus 500. As you know, or if you don't know, we could do another show about it. Plus 500 is partnered with the CME Group in FanDuel. Remember when that came out a few months ago? So what's the difference between betting on IU football, which you can do on a Saturday, or betting on the Olympics or drinking at a bar watching the men's Olympic team win the gold, right? What's the difference? You know how much betting went on last weekend for the Olympics and everything else? In these prediction markets, Scotty, if when you and I were kids at the Board of Trade, we couldn't have predicted prediction markets, but they are right on everything. When we talk to clients, we actually keep these up and say, well, there's a 70% chance this person's going to be. Remember how much the markets moved on the next Fed chair? And you know what made the markets move that night? The prediction markets moved fast when we had that new Fed chair. An hour later, Trump administration admitted or announced they had a new Fed chair. So whether it's prediction market, whether it's gold and silver, whether it's crypto, I welcome it. Now, there's been times I'm guilty. I'm embarrassed to tell you the story. One Thanksgiving, I woke up and I traded canola because you know where it was in Thanksgiving, Scotty? in Canada. And so canola opened. It was business as normal on Thanksgiving. So the truth is, we can get up. I can come to my little cave here, my little man cave, my little trading thing, and I could tell Gina, sorry, I'm busy on Saturday. I'm trading crypto, right? Because you can do it on all the digital platforms. So if you're going to have arbitrage, I'm comfortable trading crypto at the CME group using plus 500, where I know my money is secure and safe. Scotty, back to you.
Yeah, you make some great points there. And here's the only thing I'm going to say. I'm going to comment it from a math point of view, like I opened up the monologue with, because you know what? Trading and volatility and volume is a bell curve, right? And the ends of the bell curve are when the market opens and the market closes, and then you have a bell curve in between. Everything underneath there is all the volume that trades. Now, when you open up something 24/7, you're basically taking the ends of that bell curve and stretching them out. And when you stretch them out, you don't get any more trades. You just get a lot less volatility. It can be a volatility killer if the market's never closed. It'll be interesting to see what this does to a very volatile market like Bitcoin. So that's where I'm coming from. I bet you that it slows down volatility gets compressed because you've taken the ends of the bell curve and stretched them out.
We'll see. Time will tell. It's a very volatile world right now. Let's give a perfect example of that. Cattle used to trade at night, and it became a total disaster, right? And so they actually used to trade cattle at night, and they no longer do that. They say, hey, listen, get together, talk to your customers. We're opening cattle at 8:30. We're closing at 1. If you can't get done what you need in the cattle market between 8:30 and 1, sorry. And cattle trade, some would argue, has become a lot better. Now, it does bring up some problems. I talked to my friends at Plus 500. I'm like, wait a second. We are going to take like a little hour or two break on like a Saturday in this crypto. Doesn't that mean your risk manager now has to work Friday night, Saturday, Sunday? You're going to give someone limits on crypto and just not check on it for 2 days, Scott? You have to monitor the risk. There has to
be, there'll be some point in time where they'll have to catch the books up and actually call, and draw a line in the sand so that you can margin everybody and let them know where they're at. They'll do that. That'll absolutely be the case for sure. Tommy, great to bring that up. That's a great story. I would like to see how this is going to go. Ahead, real quick, 10 seconds.
Well, you said you're going to bet me. What are you going to bet me? A steak dinner?
No, I don't. Not nowadays. It's $150. I don't have that much money.
I love you. Great to be back on RFD.
Let's see what happens. All right, man. All right, brother. Take it easy, Tommy. Tommy Grisafi coming to us from Valparaiso, Indiana.